Hey guys, and welcome back to another video on my channel. I know I took a little bit of a hiatus again, and that's just because I have a really hard time finding topics that I'm passionate about that I want to talk about on this channel. And unless it's a topic that I'm really passionate about, I find it really difficult to present that topic in a video and make it interesting. But I'm hoping to be more consistent with these videos this time around. And I actually have like a bunch of videos written down that I'm planning on researching that I do find interesting. So I already have at least like 5 or 6 right now. So that's 5 or 6 videos that I'm going to be making in the next few weeks. And then hopefully after that I can find more videos so that I can be a little bit more consistent. But with that all being said, today's video is not as creepy as some of the other videos that I've covered on this channel before, but I do think that it's creepy nonetheless, and I hope that you guys enjoy it. So let's get right into today's video. So let's start with this. Captain Kutchie'S Key Lime Pie Factory and Grill was a restaurant in Asheville, North Carolina, known for their delicious key lime pies and even better burgers. This restaurant, when operated, was operated by Oswald Carlos Kutchie Pelez Jr. and his wife Anita. And at one point, this restaurant was considered to be very popular. It was so popular, in fact, that a lot of celebrities actually had gone there. This is alleged. And one of those celebrities that allegedly had gone there was Jimmy Buffett himself. Anyways, where this case all really starts, where I want to start talking about this case, was in 2009, so 5 or 6 years after the restaurant itself had actually closed down. Somebody started posting about Captain Kutchie'S on just random comments all over the internet, praising their key lime pies and, in their words, their goody cheeseburgers, saying that the pies and cheeseburgers in this establishment were some of the best in the entire world. Anyways, where this case all really starts, where I want to start talking about this case, was in 2009, so 5 or 6 years after the restaurant itself had actually closed down. Somebody started posting about Captain Kutchie'S on just random comments all over the internet, praising their key lime pies and, in their words, their goody cheeseburgers, saying that the pies and cheeseburgers in this establishment were some of the best in the entire world. Something else that I noticed about this case that was pretty strange, as if this case isn't strange enough on its own, is that whoever was making these comments wasn't making the comments on things like Google and Yelp. They were just making these comments on whatever, like articles that had no relation to Captain Kutchie'S, the restaurant, at all. And I'm going to be referring to this poster as KLP from this point out, but Mark Dungo333 on Reddit discovered that the Kutchie Key Lime Pies poster, KLP, must have been Googling certain words or typing certain words into the search bar, and then every article that he came across that would allow comments that was related to these random words that he was typing in is where he would leave these comments. I hope that I'm making sense with that. Some of these searched words included, but were not limited to, words such as key lime pie, burgers, Kutchie'S, and these ones seem relatively normal because they are related to the topic that the person is actually posting about. But some of these other phrases or words that he was looking up had no relation to the restaurant industry or food at all. And again, some of these words were, but are not limited to, words such as naked, body image, Hemingway, net worth. Now, with that, you kind of get the point of the gist that I'm trying to make here. Like, some of the words were just completely unrelated to anything that this person was talking about. KLP would use names that were fake, obviously, but were predominantly male. One of these names being Jake Carson, who always copied and pasted his replies in these comments, and another one being Willie Jackson, and the alias Willie Jackson would only really respond to articles of the sexual nature. One of the other known aliases known to be connected to KLP was an alias under the name of Roger Ramjet. Now, this person seemed to be very disconnected from any of the posts that he was commenting on. Like, the things that he was commenting had no relation to like the topic of what he was commenting on at all. For instance, he had commented on an article about some man living his life in Africa, and I'm gonna read that comment to you guys now. This comment read, "Hey Bob, do you know what the difference is between one of Captain Kutchie's famous king-size sirloin steak sandwiches and an Ashton Kutcher movie is? Answer, the steak sandwich is good, ... ha ha ha, ... and don't forget the key lime pies, ! It's to die for, ... Roger." What the heck does that even mean? It's so weird, and that's not even one of the strangest comments. For me, I think a lot of the strangest comments come from the Willie Jordan or yeah, Willie Jordan. I was gonna say Jordan Willie. A lot of the weirdest comments for me come from that account because they are of the sexual nature and just don't make any sense. But in 2009, another comment that wasn't from any of these aliases, which was left on some random blog post, said that the person that was commenting was Jimmy Buffett. And the comment read, "These burgers are better than sex." Explanation point. Where I tell you, Kutchie'S Key West Bar and Grill, Asheville, North Carolina. So these all mention Captain Kutchie'S Key Lime Pies, like the restaurant, but they have no relation again to the actual posts that the person is commenting or leaving these replies underneath. Like, it's just so strange. From the years 2009 to 2013, every single comment left by the KLP poster was one of a kind. It wasn't a copy and paste of the exact same comment over and over again, but from 2013 on, it seemed that this person was just recommenting the same thing on a lot of posts. If these copy and pasted comments read, "I sure hope this will be a great opportunity for everyone to see some of Don's secrets from his production of his classic hits, Tales from Kutchville. You know the Rickles and Johnny Carson together produced these comedy hits about their friends Mr. Kutchie'S and their wild and crazy exploits of Kutchie'S Key West and the Word of Key Lime Pies from the perspective of Johnny Carson, Don Rickles, Kutchie'S, and Steve Martin's eyes. What a hoot these classic hits surely were. Don't miss them. Be sure to tune in next month. We laughed until we cried watching these funny movies. The Tales from Kutchville, I think that they may still be available in a box set." And just to clarify, as much research as I did on this, there is no movies called Kutchville that are about Captain Kutchie'S Key Lime Pies. There just isn't. So this person's just commenting absolute nonsense. Before we get into some of the theories as to why this person could be leaving these strange comments, there's something else that I want to talk about that's also just as strange, if not stranger, about this case. A lot of the websites that this person is leaving these comments on would need a verified email to allow you to leave these comments, meaning that this person has hundreds, if not thousands, of confirmed emails that he or she is leaving these strange comments from. And I feel like that just goes to show that this is an actual person behind this, and we'll talk more about that when we get into the actual theories of what people think is going on here. But this is just so bizarre to me. I know this doesn't have the creep factor of a lot of the other topics that I've talked about on this channel, but I just find it so strange and a little bit creepy, if not anything else, that this person is this passionate about pie or a pie restaurant that doesn't even exist anymore. It's just so bizarre. The reason I wanted to mention the volume of accounts that were commenting about this place is because a lot of people think that this is a possibility that these are advanced bots leaving these comments, which could very well be possible because there are at least 700 comments that are all confirmed to be made by the same KLP poster under different names and whatnot. So that whoever's leaving these posts, whether it's a bot or not, there are several different accounts that are all tied to the exact same person. But the thing that is so strange about this is, why would somebody even hire an advanced bot to be making comments about a restaurant that has been closed down for at least 6 years before these posts even started? It's just weird and doesn't really make sense. It is also very possible that somebody is just super passionate about how good this restaurant really was, and that they take a lot of their life and time out of their life to sit down and leave comments about how great this restaurant was and how great the food and pies were. But with the amount of comments and replies and names and different names and everything that's going on in this case, that just doesn't seem very likely to me either, because that would take so much work. Like, you'd have to be truly dedicated to just commenting over and over again about this restaurant and its key lime pies and burgers, and it's just weird. Someone mentioned on Reddit that they thought that this could have been used to filter out bad comments or bad reviews that the restaurant was getting, but that is weird too, because why would you be filtering out bad comments from a restaurant that no longer exists? I mean, that definitely would make sense, because this is a very common tactic by other restaurants and just places on Google and Yelp reviews and things like that. But why do that for a closed down restaurant that is no longer in business? Another theory that I came across is that this could be some kind of cult. Now, yes, that does seem far-fetched, but when I was researching for this topic, that was one of the first things that popped into my mind. I don't know why. It just, like I said, it doesn't have the creep factor of some of the other videos that I covered, but it definitely, like, when you start thinking about it and researching, it leaves you feeling kind of strange. That would make sense for the large amount of comments and reviews being left by these accounts, and maybe they're hiding hidden messages inside of all of these reviews using those words like Kutchville and goody burger, like all of these words that don't make sense to us. Maybe they're like speaking to each other in code during these reviews from one person to another, you know? It would be possible that maybe they were using these reviews to fly under the radar, because if they talked in messages or whatever, they would have chat logs that somebody could go back and look at. And yeah, this does seem far-fetched, but it was said on Reddit that some people had reached out to these accounts, and the accounts would talk back and they'd know information about you that you didn't have like publicly posted on the internet. Like they were doing deep dives on these people that were reaching out to them, which is just weird and again, doesn't make any sense. Another theory that I at first thought was very possible was that this is some kind of ARG or art project. But the thing is, as soon as people started looking into this case and taking note of all of these strange comments, they completely stopped. And you'd think that if this was an ARG or something like that, these people would want to get traction on this subject rather than stop acting it out once people caught on. So that I kind of think dismisses the ARG theory. And the last theory that I want to talk about in this case is the one that I personally think is the most likely, is that this is an elderly resident of Asheville, North Carolina, possibly even Oswald Perez himself, or an older family member who still thinks that this restaurant is fully functioning. I think that this is possible that this is an elder who might be a little bit mentally ill and who has a passion for this restaurant or really loved going to this restaurant in their younger days and is just reminiscing. But one thing that is positive about this case is that this person wants to stay anonymous, and as soon as people started taking note of these comments, the commenter completely stopped. Last comment known to be made by this person and the KLP accounts read, Captain Kutchie'S award-winning cheeseburgers in paradise, king-size sirloin steak sandwiches, and the world's greatest key lime pies could possibly be the best food you'll ever eat in this life! Exclamation point. Available only at Miss Anita's and Captain Kutchie Perez, Key West, Kutchville Grill and Bar, and their historic 1917 key lime pie factory. The best in the West. They serve the South with the finest famous since 1976 in beautiful South Asheville, North Carolina, on US 25 South, just 10 minutes south of the Billmore House and Gardens. Merry New Year's, y'all. See you real soon. ... The captain. Oh no, he's back! Exclamation point. And that's really all I have on this case. You guys are gonna have to let me know what you think about it down below, but that is going to be the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to comment down below what you'd like to see in my future videos, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on that notification bell so that you don't miss any future videos from me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.